damage and critical rating beats brutal damage and brutal rating then for her.
Yeah, like crit or critical damage rating is actually a really viable damage stat if you have enough crit chance.
Alright.
Critical rating you have to be a bit cautious with because it has really heavy diminishing returns.
Yeah.
At a certain point, crit rating isn't worth it anymore. However, crit damage as normal damage rating scales linearly. So
Oh really?
yeah, it scales no matter how much crit damage rating you get, it always scales in a linear pattern.
Yeah,
It
so it's
does.
never going to be like plus 200 crit damage will be only 100 due to diminishing returns. It's always 200, right?
Yeah, it's always going to be the same.
Alright.
Like the same with normal damage rating, it's also a linear increase.
Yeah.
So that's why at a certain point, crit damage and damage rating win over crit rating.
If you have enough of crit.
Yeah, like 40% crit is what most people shoot for. If you get over 40% crit damage is usually better than damage rating. And usually the diminishing returns are so heavy that it's usually not worth trying to get more crit than 40%.
Alright. I think that's based on the calculation done on Wolverine, but is that pretty accurate for most characters then? Or is it just something that people took from that?
No, it's applicable to every hero in the game.
Alright.
If you get 40% crit chance, crit damage beats damage rating.
Alright. It's a good rule of thumb then, I guess.
Yeah. Like if you want an even better rule of thumb, take your crit damage, multiply it by your crit chance.
Yeah.
If that number, like say on a costume, you can roll 1000 damage rating and 4000 crit damage.
Yeah.
So you take 4000 crit damage, and you have let's say you have 50% crit chance.
Yeah.
So you multiply 4000 by 0.5, which is your crit chance, and then it's 2000. That's the actual damage rating you would be getting from the crit damage. So at that point, crit damage is twice as good as damage.
You're not forgetting that the normal damage rating also, if you have plus 100 damage, it means that your crit is plus 150 damage, right?
Yeah, but like that rule of thumb I just mentioned takes into account the normal damage rating as well.
Alright, because of course every normal damage will also help your crit damage.
Yeah, but crit damage is based on a percentage, and that percentage increase is reflected in the formula I just mentioned. It's a really simple formula, but
yeah, well, that's good. I like simple because brain can hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
Alright. Bottom row is the five gear slots. I like that they put more and more anti-hero uniques in. I've seen a Rocket Raccoon run around with all the anti-hero uniques. He summoned a Sentinel, symbiote guys. He had what was it? Magia. He had Frost Giant. He had like an army running behind his Rocket Raccoon, and that's like something you could do on every hero. So that was pretty. Imagine that on a Luke Cage, for example. It's just a lot. So I think that's really cool. But
on the one hand, I do like them putting in more anti-hero uniques. On the other hand, I hate it.
Because you have to farm them, right?
That's
why, right?
I still need to. So the more they add, the smaller my chances are of getting one.
That's correct. Even though they like again, Dispatched has a lot of new uniques. They will upgrade the anti-hero unique.
I've seen 7 or 8 new anti-hero uniques
already, right? Well,
yeah.
Yeah. So apparently they will also drop more. But yeah, I feel your I try to get a 100% account, which I'm pretty sure I will never get because it's just not possible in this game. But hey, you gotta go for something, right?
Yeah.
So which uniques are good for you in those spots?
Let me just start with the basics. If you don't take any hero uniques into account, all of Scarlet's uniques are best in slot. So all of her own uniques are best in slot, but
so you mean above Cosmic Gear?
Yeah, above Cosmic Gear. Except for maybe the gloves, but I'll get on that in a bit.
Yeah.
But like her slot 5, until you find the Cerebro interface control unit, whatever it's called, until you find the Cerebro, her Chthonic headdress is best in slot. Especially if you have +6 to disruption. Um, yeah, it rolls crit rating, it rolls crit damage, it rolls spirit, it rolls insanely high defense, about 2500 I think,
Wow,
on level 60. So yeah, it put my defense up at 8000 on a squishy character.
it's not too bad.
No, but anyways, yeah, that's generally best in slot until you find a Cerebro. Her boot slot, slot 4, is Genosian Royal Slippers, hands down. They roll range damage rating, movement speed, plus up to +6 to decimation. The range damage rating can roll about 400, I think.
Alright.
It rolls health on kill. It has a bit of dodge, which is useless, but yeah, they're best in slot, hands down.
Awesome.
Her slot 3, her cape, her own cape is best in slot. It has unaware target damage. It has dot target damage. It has brutal strike rating. It has critical rating. It has health. It has everything you want on there except +1 to all powers.
Alright. Oh yeah, alright.
But yeah, in general with the rolls it has. Mine has 529 dot damage rating, which is all my skills. It has 288 crit rating. It has 300 something brutal strike rating. It has 1500 health. Yeah, it's an amazing unique.
Wow.
Her slot 2. This one has a bit of a catch. It is her best in slot if you don't have +1 energy anywhere else.
Alright.
It has +1 energy, damage rating, health, spirit, spirit on kill, minus spirit cost, +1 to all powers. It's a really good unique, but the Dark Ox arms are superior.
Alright.
If you have a decently rolled Dark Ox arms with over 700 damage rating to area powers and crit rating to area powers, it wins hands down. Because I run Chaos Warp, so every skill that matters in damage is tagged as an area skill.
Alright.
So the Dark Ox Arms is an amazing unique, but you need to have the +1 energy somewhere else.
Because the +1 energy somewhere else is, you mean you still get like 5% on your mental powers?
Yeah. Scarlet gets 6 energy by default, so the
Yeah.
+1 energy puts it up to 7.
Ah, I see.
But there's 2 ways to get that +1 energy actually, which is the next slot.
Mm-hmm.
The Gloves of Infinite Entropy is Scarlet's own unique. It's a really proc heavy unique. I personally don't really like it. The only reason I'm still using it is because it can roll up to +6 to decimation.
Alright.
It is pretty much the best item you can find until you find the Darkhold. Which is
Yes,
another
here it comes, here it comes.
another any hero unique, which can roll up to 1700 mental damage rating on top of the 700 it already has. It has +1 energy, it has plus spirit, it has brutal strike rating and damage, which isn't that great, +1 to all powers. But for me, it would be an increase in DPS of about 10%.
Wow.
And considering I have 248,000 DPS, go figure. Anyways, this item has eluded me ever since it was introduced.
So you still have to find one. What do
Yeah.
what happens? What do you do if you find one eventually?
I'll punch a hole in my screen, jump through my roof, and yeah, I really don't know what I would do. Like, I pretty much already freaked out when I finally got my Cerebro.
Yeah. All right. So and that's another thing. I mean, I don't want to keep constantly saying how cool this game is, but yeah, something like that. You know, there is still some items to hunt, even for you who plays a lot of hours on that one hero. So
yeah, there's still items for me to hunt, definitely. But yeah, those are the slot 1 through 5 items.
Mhm.
Like if you don't get the Darkhold, you can still get +1 energy on your costume, which I have at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, let me first go over the enchants real quick. It's a really simple thing. Slot 1 and 5, you'll want mental damage rating, and slot 2 to 4, you'll want health. or Spirit. If you're Spirit starved, take Spirit, but Scarlet doesn't get a lot of health on her unique, so I recommend health.
Yeah.
Yeah, going into the next thing, costume. Costume is a bit tricky, because if you have all the items I have, and Dark Ox arms on top of that, your crit chance will shoot up to about 45%.
Alright.
So in that case, crit damage is the way you'll want to
Alright,
go.
yeah.
But if you don't have a Dark Ox arms, your crit chance will be highly likely around mine, which is about 31 to 32%. In which case you'll want damage rating for maximum efficiency.
Alright, yeah.
So that one's a bit tricky. So for most Scarlets, I say damage.
Yeah.
If you happen to have a Dark Ox arms on Scarlet, I say crit damage.
Alright. Yeah, I still have yet to see one, so it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
So yeah. Alright. So again, the 40% rule is pretty easy to go
Yeah.
with. And what core do you put in it?
I have 0.5 lifesteal plus 1 RNC at the moment. But yeah, they are going to change lifesteal, so I guess it depends on how it changes, if I change out my core or not.
Do you know how they're going to change it? Because I think they want to get rid of it for some reason.
Yeah, they want to make it life on hit, and I can actually explain you why. The thing with lifesteal as it is the problem is that it's percentage based. Like the more damage you do, the more you heal. Like I just said, I have 248,000 DPS on a single target.
Yeah.
That's with 0.5 lifesteal. That's healing me for 1,200 health per second
Yeah.
on a single target. Like imagine standing in X defense with like 20 enemies.
Yeah.
I'd heal like 20,000 health per second. So that's the problem with lifesteal as it is. It's percentage based. They want to make it life on hit like Lemuria, I guess, so that it's a solid number. That it doesn't really matter how much more damage you do, you'll always heal the same.
Yeah. And then it is actually comparable to others, to other stats on it. Because now it's pretty much. I notice it on all the heroes. Just even if it's 0.5%, it's still good.
Yeah, like you'll want lifesteal on any hero you play right now, and a 25% on medkit.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much the best core you can get.
Do they still drop or not? Because I haven't seen one in a while.
I haven't seen a lifesteal core drop since like 2 months. Like they've been taken out of the loot table.
Alright, too bad. I still have a few though, but they're probably gonna get changed then. So.
I still have around 10 Prometheum cores lying around with lifesteal because I played Scarlet way too much.
Yeah. I got all these radioactive isotopes just because of Spider-Man, right? I know how that is.
Yeah, but there's one more item to cover, by the way.
Yes.
It's the insignia. Now this is kind of a easy one. Best in slot is an O'Grady. That's really easy.
It's for most heroes as well, right?
Yeah, best in slot is O'Grady. If you have 20% or more crit chance, the best you're going to get is O'Grady. The rolls you want on it, though, are range damage rating or area damage rating. One of the two. And crit damage. Because crit damage can roll up to 1,000.
Yeah.
On the insignias, and if you have a decently rolled one with a decent amount of crit chance, that equals more than what normal damage rating can roll.
So purely for the fact that you just can get huge numbers of that. That's the reason then.
Yeah. I think the best DPS would be ranged or area and crit damage, but also ranged and area would work really well. I'm actually using a Wolverine insignia at the moment because I gave my crit rating, crit damage O'Grady to Nightcrawler.
Alright, really?
Because it was the best in slot insignia for Nightcrawler.
Ah, I see.
And I'm using a Wolverine with crit rating and area damage right now on Scarlet. And it works really well. It's also what bumps my my brutal strike chance up to 20%.